Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego. It's a happy Monday. I know everybody likes their Mondays, right? The best day of the week is Monday. Fresh start. The weekend's over. Mondays are always a good day. I got this microphone here working pretty good. I think I made a video today for you guys, but I had the microphone down on the computer modem, so there was a little bit of a buzzing sound when I made the video, and I didn't want to go back and redo it. So I just left it as it is, and you just have to get over the buzzing sound. This is your K1 green card channel that we put together for you, Karina and I, so that you can learn how to do a K1 visa application, a green card application for free. So you don't have to pay an immigration attorney all that crazy money. I mean, I'm not an immigration attorney. I'm not giving you legal advice. I don't work for USCIS, but I tell you what, these immigration attorneys are making money hand over fist. Well, I guess that's a good thing in a capitalist country. I got no problem with that. But you don't need an immigration attorney to do this. Maru, good day, Diego and Karina. What's going on, Maru? How's everybody? Now, Maru, your family uh, is looking forward to your fiance coming to the United States from Cameroon. I hope you're having a lovely day. Oh, it's a great day today. I mean, I'm running out of things to do in the yard. Okay, I don't know what else to do. I got the yard done. I did some more edging in the yard, but I basically don't have anything else to do in the yard. So I'm just looking for stuff. God's Power Thomas, good evening, Mr. Diego. Just sent you a text on your phone. Well, that's great. I'm in the middle of a live stream. Where's the text? I don't see it. Let me see right here. There you go. Here's a text. It says a text from God's Power Thomas. He's a member of our channel, by the way, which means he's got my cell number, Karina's cell phone number. Good evening, Mr. Diego. I just received Form I-797C from USCIS. Can you please enlighten me on the reading circle? Well, let's take a look what the reading circle shows. I'm looking. The reading circle, let me see, it's upside down. Okay, you said, we did not receive a valid Form G28 notice of entry of appearance as attorney or accredited representative with your case. If you are already represented or wish for someone to represent you, please have your attorney or accredited representative submit the Form G28. So what they're saying is, if you want to hire an immigration attorney to help you, to represent you, he's going to need to file, or she's going to need to file Form G28. But you didn't hire an immigration attorney because you're very smart, you're very intelligent, and the immigration attorney that you talked to was giving you bad advice, which I told you to fire that person, which you did. So whatever's circled in red here, disregard it, because you didn't hire an immigration attorney. So you are good to go. You're going to represent yourself, and you're going to fix this with my help. Okay? So that's what it means, God's Power Thomas. I just read the text. You texted me. Here it is. I read it publicly, if that was okay. And what you circled in red was immigration is asking if you had hired an immigration attorney, they need to file G28 form. But you didn't. So you don't have to worry about it. So whatever you circled in red, you don't have to worry about it. Okay? You got it? Did I help relieve you a little bit, some of your stress? Aldo Intriago Bergman. Hello, Diego. Hope you're doing okay. My adjustment of status interview through K1 Visa is coming up in about 2 weeks. You think I could request an I-51 stamp if it's approved at the interview? You don't need an I-50. You don't need to get an I-55-1 stamp. You don't need that, because you're going to get your 2-year green card, and then you're going to apply for your 10-year green card, and then you're going to get a letter from immigration saying that they're going to send you a notice of action saying that your 2-year green card has been extended for 36 months once you apply for the 10-year green card. So the Form I-551 stamp, you don't need to worry about it. You don't need to worry about it. But you can, if you want to get it, you can set an appointment at USIS. You could ask them at the interview if you want them to stamp it, but I doubt if they will because it's way too early. You don't get that. If I need, you said if I need to travel abroad right after the interview, that would be advanced parole, and it takes 6 months to get advanced parole. If you want to leave the United States right after the interview, before you get the green card, Aldo, you got to file for advanced parole, and it takes 6 months and costs over $600. That's how you get a permission card to leave the United States while you're waiting for a green card. But when you pay that $600+ for the advanced parole, it takes 6 months to get it. By the time you get the advanced parole, you get your green card. So therefore, you cannot leave the United States with a form I-50 with an I-551 stamp. You can't do it. You got to file for advanced parole, and you got to pay for advanced parole, and they got to adjudicate it. I don't know what, Aldo, come on now. Maru, yes, we are waiting patiently. God's Power Thomas, thanks a lot. There you go. Aldo, if I need to travel abroad right after the interview for the green card arrives, well, you're not going to do that. Because if you leave the United States before your green card arrives and you don't have an advanced parole card, you are not going to be let back into the United States. You're going to be denied re-entry, and all that work you did on the paperwork for the K-1 visa and the green card will be flushed down the toilet. So here's what you do, Aldo. You go to your green card interview, and then you wait for your green card. And when you get your 2-year green card, then you can travel overseas. Okay, Aldo, I've explained it to you 1 billion times. I've explained it to you 1 time or 1 billion times. You cannot leave the United States without advanced parole if you don't have your green card. It takes 6 months to get advanced parole approved and costs over $600. If you leave the United States without the advanced parole card before you get your green card and you don't have your advanced parole approved, you will be denied re-entry into the United States. Now, if you don't want to live in America, if you don't want to be here anymore, then you just get on a plane and go. Because that's what you're telling me. You don't need to, you come to this country, okay? And I understand sometimes an emergency could happen, but you don't leave without advanced parole approved by immigration. And so it's $600 and something. I don't know how much it is. Let's calculate for Aldo how much it costs for advanced parole, right? So let's see, advanced parole. We're going to find out how much it is. Cost of advanced parole. I'm going to find out. Cost of advanced parole. $630. I was right on the money. And Brownie says, advanced parole really isn't worth it, in my opinion. You are 100% correct, Brownie, RSPS. If you come into this country to live as a permanent resident, then by golly, come here and live as a permanent resident. And whatever happens overseas, you handle via WhatsApp or what's that software you can use where you can do a face-to-face? I don't know what it's called, but you come to America and we welcome you to America, and then you wait for your freaking green card. And then if you need to travel somewhere, then go travel somewhere. But I don't even advise doing that. I do not advise anybody going anywhere on a 2-year green card. Wait until you get a 10-year green card. You're coming to America to live. You're not coming to America for a vacation. You're coming here to live. That's what a green card is, to live and work permanently in America, not to jump on a plane as soon as you go to the interview and fly to another country. You're not going to get, you can do that. You have a right to do that, but you're not going to come back to this country, not without a new K1 visa application. Or in your case, if you're married already, a spousal visa, an I-130. I'm not going to keep repeating myself. You don't need to travel abroad, Aldo. You need to wait for your green card. That's what you need to do. If you need to travel abroad right after your green card interview, then go back to the home country and stay there. Just stay there. Take care of your family in the home country, whatever you got to do. But don't, I'm not going to keep explaining it to you. Chris and Emil, green card interview is in October. And Unadi Goswani, what type of question does USCIS officers ask the petitioner or the beneficiary for the marriage-based 485? They can ask any question they like about your relationship. Where did you meet each other? How long have you been dating each other before you got married? What's the name of your beneficiary's mom and dad in whatever country they're from? What's the name of the sponsor's mom and dad? Does your sponsor have a brother or a sister? What are their names? Have you met your sponsor's parents or family members? What color is the carpet in the house that you're living in with your sponsor? What kind of car does he drive or she? What type of car? What's the color? You have to know everything about your sponsor and your beneficiary. And there cannot be any mismatches when you answer the questions. So if you know everything about your beneficiary and your sponsor, you got nothing to worry about. Does your beneficiary have any tattoos? They ask, I think they asked Karina at the medical exam in Bogota. They said to Karina, do you have any tattoos? And she said, that's like putting a bumper sticker on a Ferrari. And the doctor's like, what? She said, no, I don't have any tattoos. That would be like putting a bumper sticker on a Ferrari. And she's right. That was her response. But that was at the medical exam. But they could ask you that at the green card interview. Does your American citizen sponsor have any tattoos? I don't have one, zero, nothing. You just got to know everything about your what's your U.S. citizen sponsor's medical history? Has he ever been sick? Has he ever been in a hospital? They could ask that question. Brownie RSPS Advanced Pro isn't worth it. That's correct, Brownie. Maru, Aldo, listen to Diego and you will not go wrong. Maru, that's the best advice that you've given Aldo. Because when Aldo goes to his green card interview and he tells the consular officer at the green card interview, oh, by the way, I need you to stamp my passport with an I-551 because I'm going to get on a plane and fly back to my home country. Guess what? Your green card's going to be denied right there on the spot, Aldo. Brownie RSPS, FaceTime, Skype, Facebook, Messenger, WhatsApp. There you go. Those are the ways to communicate with people in the country you just left without leaving America. Arnold Schwarzenegger came to this country from Austria on a work visa, and then he got his green card. It was sponsored by Joe Weider, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger's father passed away in Austria. His dad died, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's like, well, I'm not leaving the United States. I've got this work. I got this paperwork. I'm not leaving America. There's nothing I can do for my dad. He passed away. I'll send flowers to the funeral, and I'll wish my mom condolences, but I'm staying in America. That was Arnold, because he knew how important it was not to leave the country once you get here and you get through this process. No matter how difficult it is or how much of a family sadness there is, you don't leave the country, especially right after a green card interview. That's insanity. Larry Piercy, howdy. What's going on, Larry? Chris and Emil, Larry, Mama, I'm coming home, go Aussie. What? Was that Ozzy Osbourne? Ernest Dostey, it's been 6 weeks that USCIS canceled my interview date. They haven't rescheduled till now. I don't know what's going on. Well, send them a letter. Write them a letter, overnight it with FedEx, and ask them what's going on. Put a copy of the correspondence they sent you where they canceled your interview day. Ernest, listen, make a copy of it, of the letter they sent you, or the whatever the text. It was a USCIS online message. Screenshot it and write them a letter and ask them what's going on. They'll respond to you. Larry Piercy is waving to Chris, and Chris and Emil says hi, crossing fingers that Ross and Larry will not be deployed to South America. No, I'm not going to be deployed to South America. I've done my time in the Navy. I did 20 years in the Navy. Okay. I was in support for operations with Panama in 1989, with Noriega. I was not in Panama, but I was providing logistics support for that. I was in Operation Desert Shield, Operation Desert Storm in the Eastern Mediterranean Sea. I was in Operation... I've been in so many campaigns that are documented in my military record. But so my time is done. It's for the new generation now, the younger folks who are going to go down and go to Venezuela for their vacation. Well, I'm not saying it's going to be a fun vacation, but we'll see what happens, right? If I was Maduro, the bus driver who thinks he's the president of Venezuela, if I was him, I would be calling up Cuba asking for a place to live. Honestly, but that's my opinion. And there's not going to be a war with Venezuela with the United States. The United States government and the Venezuelan people are not hating each other. They love each other. My family's in Venezuela. We don't have a problem with Venezuelans. The problem is Maduro and his little group of communists. Okay, that's the problem. And it's not going to be a problem much longer, hopefully, for the citizens of Venezuela and America who want that guy gone. Brownie, RSPS, my case is still at the interview, ready to be scheduled. Not sure how much longer it's going to take. Give them another 3 or 4 weeks, Brownie. 3 or 4 weeks. Chris Nemmel, is this war for the reason? There's not going to be a war with Venezuela. The United States does not dislike Venezuelans. The U.S. government, Marco Rubio, Donald Trump, the Secretary of Defense, or now the Secretary of War, is called the Secretary of War. The American people don't have a problem with Venezuelans. The problem is Nicolas Maduro, the bus driver who thinks he's the president of Venezuela. He's running his mouth, and he can keep on running his mouth, but his time in Venezuela, I don't think is going to be for much longer. Just my opinion. I think what he should do is leave and go to Cuba and go hang out there with his communist pals there, not in Venezuela, because the Venezuelan people had an election and they overwhelmingly defeated him in the election by 80%, 78%. 78% of the Venezuelans voted for the other person, Edmundo, who's now in Spain. But Maria Corina Concierno, I think that's her name, she stayed in Venezuela, waiting for Maduro to be no longer there. Chris and Emil, Navy ships and submarines are active. Yeah, they're active. Francois Livingston, good evening, Diego and Karina. Francois and Hamid, how are you guys doing? What's going on, Francois? How's everything in upstate New York? Ernest Dosti, I called the office and they said I have to wait for their response. Okay, but I feel like it's taking forever. It does feel that way, but it's not really. They canceled the interview 3 days to the actual date. It's almost 7 weeks. Well, now you've called their office. They went in their computer and they made a note on your case that you have made contact with immigration. So you haven't abandoned your green card interview. You haven't abandoned it. Immigration took your phone call. They went into, did you give them your NOA2 number? Did you give them your full name, date of birth, and social security number? Whatever it is you gave them, they can find your case and document it in their record that you called. And what does that mean? It means that your case is still pending. It's not abandoned. And good job, by the way, on calling. But I would write him a letter too. Brownie RSPS. Okay, thank you. I'm excited. Yeah, Brownie, you're good. You're good to go. I got the microphone here. I think it's working better. I made a video with the microphone on top of the desktop computer. And the desktop computer was making a real low humming sound, which you can hear in the video. So, oh well, I didn't redo the video. Now, this is important when you fill out, starting October 28th of 2025, you're going to have to pay for your green cards and your K-1 visas using Form G1650. So let's suppose you're going to lift the conditions off of your 2-year green card and apply for a 10-year green card. As of September 8th, 2025, it's $750. Okay, so you're going to fill out the Form G1650. I made the video on how to do it, and then you're going to put in the amount block, $750. Now, if you have a K2 child that came to the United States with you, you're going to lift the conditions off the K2 child on the same I-751 as the K1, as the beneficiary. Okay, but you're going to include a separate G1650 to pay for the biometrics for the K2, which is $85 as of September 8th, 2025. So you're going to lift the conditions off of your K1 and your K2. Your 2-year green card for your K1 and the K2. You'll lift the conditions off of it. Okay, you're going to lift the conditions off of it. You submit the evidence for the 10-year green card for your new husband or wife. You submit the evidence for the 10-year green card for your stepson or stepdaughter under age 18. When you put the paperwork together, you're going to have 2 separate applications, one for your new wife or husband and one for your stepson or stepdaughter. You're going to have 2 separate G1650s, one for your new husband or wife and one for your K2. To lift the conditions off the K1, off the 2-year green card is $750. That's how much you're going to put on the G1650. You're going to put another G1650 together for the stepson or stepdaughter, and it's going to be $85. Don't mess that up. Don't add the $750 to the $85 and put it on one G1650, because then it's all messed up and everything's going to be rejected and sent back to you. Let me see. Brownie, Chris, and Emil, next year I will be taking classes 12 weeks for data center. I will take a job next year working at a data center. Okay. Well, let's put some mega pixie dust on the Chris and Emil. Francois Livingston, we're doing good, Diego. Not much going on. Weather is starting to cool down. Yeah, I'm waiting for the weather to cool down here in Florida so I can paint the floor of the garage with the special paint from Home Depot, I believe, or Lowe's. I'm gonna take everything out of the garage. I'm gonna clean the garage floor, which has got circular like oil spots and it's dirty. So I'm gonna clean everything out of the garage, and I'm gonna clean it thoroughly. Then I'm gonna etch it. I'm going to etch the garage floor, which means I'm going to prepare it for the special paint, epoxy paint. That's right. And then I'm waiting for the temperature to go down, because the paint, this kind of paint, doesn't like hot weather. So I'm definitely going to redo the garage floor so it looks like a showroom of a car dealership, which I worked in for 17 years. I'm going to turn the garage floor into the floor of a car dealership. But it requires a special temperature and a special paint. Let me see. Good job, Chris and Emil. Going to go work at a data center. Chris and Emil to Francois. My wife has an interview October 2025, next month, for a green card. Very good. Ernest Dostey, what's the best address to send the letter? to? I live in Massachusetts state. Should I send it to Texas or California? Who was the person, Ernest? Who was the person? What service center was the last service center to handle your case? That's who you send it to. And I don't have the address on me right now. I don't have it in front of me right now. Let's see. Francois Livingston. Congratulations, Chris and Emil. Like Diego always says, you're almost at the finish line. That's right. Mega Pixie Dust. Now, instead of doing Mountain Dew salutes, okay, I'm doing lime and water salutes. Lime and water salutes. Now, this is what I'm drinking all day today, and all day tomorrow, and all day Wednesday. I'm on a 3-day fast. I'm going 3 days without any food. I'm going to get rid of this fat off my gut. I'm going to get my blood sugar down to where it's almost non-existent. And it's going to take a 72-hour fast to do it. I figured it out. 24-hour fasting is good. I lost 13 pounds on that. But I got to get the rest of this weight off me. So I'm going on a 72-hour fast with no food. Only lemon and lime water. And that's it. That's to keep me hydrated. And then I'll put sea salt. I'll put sea salt in there to keep my, my electrolytes going in my blood. Let me see. So Francois says, congratulations, Chris and Emil. Like Diego always says, you're almost at the finish line. Happy for the both of you. Chris and Emil, thank you. Chris and Emil, epoxy paints, correct. Bud Garcia, hello, Diego. How are you doing today? Now, I'm not a sir. I'm Diego. My dad is sir, or Mr. Ross, or sir. My dad lives in Thailand. He moved to Thailand like 25 years ago. And Francois says to Bud Garcia is in the house. Bud Garcia is in the house. Bud Garcia, why aren't you signed up as a member? If you signed up as a member to this channel for $9.99, you could be calling me and texting me. Let's see. Francois Livingston. Bud Garcia is definitely in the house. Bud Garcia, it is going well. Have the green card interview on the 3rd of October at 7 o'clock in the morning. Mega Pixie Dust for Bud Garcia. Francois, you got sunburned. Well, I don't know if I got sun. I was in the yard I was doing weed whacking. I was doing stuff in the yard. Then I watered the yard because it's not going to, now it's starting to rain. I watered the yard this morning. It costed me $6 to water the yard every time. And now it's raining outside. So I was in the sun quite a bit, which does help with my vitamin D. Vitamin D, I got to keep my vitamin. I'm on a fast. I'm fasting for what, 3 days? I'm not going to eat any food for 3 days. This is day 1. Tomorrow's day 2 with no food. Then Wednesday's day 3 with no food. Then at 4 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon, I'm going to eat a big avocado salad. That's my plan. Now, I got to have a lot of self-discipline to go 72 hours without eating anything because I'm used to having French fries and hamburgers and this and that and ice cream. That stuff's gone. No more. Bud Garcia, I'm not worried about it if they ask me questions, but I hope my wife will be okay. Bud Garcia, you're good. You know everything about your wife, right? Isn't your wife from Thailand? Isn't she from Thailand? You know everything about her. Your wife knows everything about you. She knows where you work, how much money you make. She knows if you have any brothers or sisters. She knows, and you know if her family, you know about her family. Yeah, she's from Thailand. You know the name of your wife's mother and father in Thailand, right? You probably can't pronounce the name because it's probably this long. But you know what their nicknames are. And wear business casual to the green card interview. Don't wear jeans and t-shirt or a bowl cap. Okay? You wear business casual like you're going to a job interview. Bud Garcia, sign up as a member. Then you can call me, dude. Celia, regarding the N400. So you want to become a U.S. citizen. That's when you file N400 and the application for U.S. citizenship. USCIS will determine the eligibility for the good moral character since the applicant granted the green card or before. Here's what you do with the U.S. citizenship application under the new administration. The new administration wants to see that you have good moral character before they issue you U.S. citizenship. The way to do that without being investigated is to go to your next door neighbors and ask them to write affidavits, letters of support for you. Wherever you work, your beneficiary, if you work in wherever it is you're working, it doesn't matter what country you're from, you're in America now and you have a green card and you're working. Go to your boss and ask your boss to write a letter of support saying that you are applying for U.S. citizenship, okay? And you need a letter of affidavit attesting to my good character. The next door neighbor, the one across the street, the one here, the one here. Then get letters of affidavit attesting to your good character from friends, your work people that you work with. Okay? You include that in the application for U.S. citizenship. And that is more than enough to be sufficient for good moral character, okay, for U.S. citizenship. You got it? Celia, tell me you understand what I just said. You got it, right? Bud Garcia, that is true. I was going to wear a tank top and shorts, but that is not. Bud Garcia, you cannot wear shorts and a tank top to a green card interview. The immigration officer will give you a hard time if you do that. It will be a bad first, how do you say? The first impression. And Larry says it's perfect, Bert, but no, you don't do that, Larry. But we're going to put more MAGA pixie dust over here. You're just kidding. I know you're kidding because you are Marine. Now, Bud Garcia and Larry Piercy, there are two Marines that are on the channel. And then Christopher Reese, he was in the Navy. And we got somebody that I think was on nuclear submarines. And Larry Piercy, when you went to your green card interview in Montgomery, Alabama with Margie, what did you wear to the green card interview? Tell Bud what you wore to the green card interview. Okay? Now, you didn't wear a MAGA Trump t-shirt because you don't wear anything political. You wore a suit. There you go. You don't go to a green card interview with I love Trump on your t-shirt, or I love Kamala Harris, or I am a Republican, or I'm a Democrat. You don't wear that stuff to a green card interview. Okay? You don't wear anything religious to a green card interview. Not that I'm, this channel is pro God, right? But you go to a green card interview as a neutral party in business attire. And Larry Piercy, they thought I was Mogi's lawyer. Serious. Bud Garcia, I will wear my dress blues. Don't wear your military uniform. Don't wear your military uniform. Don't do that. Just wear business attire. Now, that's my best advice to you. Celia, because I read on the USCIS website and on the application, the applicant must have good character within the statutory period of 3 years submitting the N400. That's correct. If a person with a 10-year green card, married to a U.S. citizen for 3 years, gets a DUI, that person has got a good chance of being deported, not becoming a U.S. citizen. Okay? If you have a green card that you've had in your possession for 3 or 4 years and you go to for U.S. citizenship, you got to have 3 years of good character if you're married to a U.S. citizen. You got to have 5 years of good character if you're applying for U.S. citizenship. If you are here on a work permit, let's say, or you come here on a work permit, like Arnold Schwarzenegger did, came here on a work permit, got his green card. You got to stay out of trouble when you apply for U.S. citizenship. Multiple traffic infractions, getting misdemeanors, felonies, DUIs, while a green card holder is going to prevent you from getting U.S. citizenship. Okay? So stay out of trouble if you want to be a citizen. Keep a clean slate. Here's what happens when you apply for U.S. citizenship. Here's the perfect way to do it. The immigration officer is going to ask, do you have a criminal record? No, nothing, zero. Have you left the United States since you've been a green card holder? No, never once left the United States. I've been a permanent resident. I've never left America. Been here since I got my green card. Very good. Those are the two questions that you need to answer that way, as long as it's truthful. Okay? And then you're going to listen to the few other questions that you're going to get, and then you'll become a U.S. citizen. But you got to pass the civics and the government information. Okay? You got to know about the Constitution. You got to know about our history of our government, the history of our country. You know, when was the Spanish-American War? When was the Revolutionary War? When was the Civil War? Who fought in the Civil War? Who was the war in the Civil War? Who was the battle against? Those are questions you got to be ready for U.S. citizenship, and stay out of trouble. Let me see. Chris and Emil, interview is at New Orleans. In New Orleans, that's on the 4th floor, I believe it is, where you suggested for me to stay there because it will be National Guard will be there full active. I don't want to be in their way of security. Chris and Emil, my advice to anybody going to New Orleans for their green card interview, their biometrics, is spend the night at the Holiday Inn. Now, the Holiday Inn doesn't pay me to say that, but the Holiday Inn is a 4-minute walk from USCIS in New Orleans. So you get on Interstate 10, you leave the interstate, enter to New Orleans, go park your car at the Holiday Inn, not the Holiday Inn Express. That's another hotel. That's not where near USCIS. The Holiday Inn, Superdome is the name. So if you're going to New Orleans for your green card interview, your biometrics, get off of I-10, stay at the Holiday Inn Superdome, spend the night, get up the next morning, walk 5 minutes to your green card interview in business attire, okay? Go upstairs in the elevator, check in with the security in the building, the USCIS building. You got to check in with security, show them your letter saying you got a green card interview, or else they won't let you in. Don't take any pictures inside the building. Your cell phone is not allowed to, you're not allowed to take pictures. You can't get any pictures in front of the USCIS sign inside the building. Go upstairs and have your green card interview or your biometrics done. Okay? You're going to go through a TSA checkpoint, basically. Larry Piercy, I was there. Yeah, Larry, you drove to New Orleans. You did a turnaround in one day. I recommend spending the night. I spent the night there with Karina at the Holiday Inn, Superdome, next to the USCIS office on Lanier Street, whatever it's called. Bud Garcia, so what kind of questions do they ask for the green card interview? Know everything about your wife. And your wife needs to know everything about you and your house, where you live, and the neighborhood where you live, and what you drive, and where you work. You hear that thunder? That's a huge thunderstorm coming in. Larry Piercy, is it, Diego, the same as the biometrics? It's the same location as the biometrics. Alex Mo, what are the chances of getting a denial reverted for a green card because I didn't file my taxes and sign my affidavit, just joint sponsors info, so I'm going to appeal? So you got a denial when you filed for the green card because you didn't file your taxes. You signed the affidavit and the joint sponsors info, so I'm going to appeal. What are the chances? Well, if you didn't pay your taxes, the chances are pretty much not good. Have you filed your taxes now? Did you do an amendment to your tax return? Can you produce an amendment to your tax return that shows you paid your taxes? That could maybe save you, with an explanation as to why you couldn't pay them when you were supposed to, or didn't file them when you were supposed to. If you have an amended tax return with an explanation, Alex Mo, yes, I have my taxes. Okay, so you appeal it with your tax return, your 1040, and explain what happened. And say, you apologize, but at that time, this was the reason that you didn't do it. Now you've done it. You've caught up with Uncle Sam, or I should say, Uncle Sam caught up with you, but you've filed your taxes, and you apologize for not having them when you did the green card. Bud Garcia, you didn't hear my answer. You need to know everything about your wife from Thailand, and your wife needs to know everything about you, where you work, what kind of car you drive, how much money you make, what your favorite things are, what's your favorite TV show. I don't watch movies on TV. So if they ask Karina, if she has a 10-year green card interview and they ask her, what's Diego's favorite movie? She's going to say he doesn't have one because I don't watch movies. I don't have time to spend 2 hours watching nonsense coming out of Hollywood. I would much rather watch a YouTube channel on how to change my brakes or how to drain the differential in my car or do this. You got to know everything about your sponsor and your beneficiary, his or her favorite food. What's my favorite food? Thai curry. But I got to be careful how I eat that now because of the rice. Because that is a sugar that creates sugar. I got to figure out how to eat Thai curry. Indian curry. Stuff, Karina knows everything about me. I know everything about her. Alex Mo, I wasn't working at the time. That's the whole reason. I got a joint sponsor. I didn't know they needed my info as well. Then explain that in a letter with your tax return. You've got your tax return, right? You got it. You got the tax transcript. You got the 1040. You got the W-2s, right? Write a letter to immigration and appeal their decision, and see what they did and see what they say. I thought that was on my shirt. It's on the computer. And see what they say. You got to explain yourself. And you can appeal it and explain the reason. But you got to have evidence to prove that you've paid your taxes, or at least filed your taxes. Okay? And then you just have to, beg for forgiveness from immigration. You weren't working. So you didn't have a tax return. So you got a joint sponsor to cover you. Immigration didn't like that. They want the American citizen to take care of their beneficiary, not the next door neighbor. If your income isn't sufficient enough, that's different. If you don't quite make enough money, immigration will give you a mulligan, but you still got to file taxes on the money you do make, even if it's not enough to cover the minimum income requirements to sponsor somebody. But you filed your taxes. Not working. So immigration, they get your green card application and they see you not working. They're going to say, why would I want to approve a green card for his new wife when he's not even at work? So you got to be real careful when you file for a green card or for a K-1 visa. You got to be at least employed doing something with at least 3 years worth of tax returns. Now, I'm not saying you have to be making $100,000 a year, but you got to be making something. And if you're and if your income isn't sufficient, that's when you get the joint sponsor. But immigration can see that at least you're doing something. So now, Alex, you're doing something. You got a tax return. You filed it. Get it to immigration. Get it to them. Appeal the decision. They sent you a letter. What did they do? Send you a letter of notice of denial because you didn't file taxes? Did they not include an explanation on how to appeal it in the letter? I think they did, right? So you can revert the denial. You can get it changed back to an approval, but you got to explain it. You better be good on their explanation. Larry and Emil. Larry, do you have to go to New Orleans? No. He already did it. Chris and Emil, are we allowed to go to Bourbon Street if the National Guard's active? Yeah, you can go to Bourbon Street. I took Karina down Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street. We went. I went into. We like to go to the Hard Rock cafes and eat steak dinners at the end. We ate a steak dinner at the Hard Rock Cafe in Bogota, Colombia. So we wanted to eat a steak dinner at the Hard Rock Cafe in New Orleans on Bourbon Street. And that was until we saw how much a steak dinner cost at the Hard Rock Hotel on Bourbon Street. I mean, I wasn't planning. I had no intention of selling my left kidney just to eat a steak dinner. So I bought Karina like a T-shirt and a ball cap and like a fridge magnet and that was way a lot more economical than spending all that money on 2 steak dinners. I could make the same steak dinner at the house here, tasting just as good for, I would say, $30. Let me see here. Alex, yeah, they gave me 33 days to appeal it. Okay, so you're going to have to pay the $800. It costs $800 to appeal the decision for a denial. You're going to have to fill out the paperwork, what is it? The 1290, I believe it is. You got to pay. You fill out the paperwork with a good explanation. Go to the paperwork, read what they tell you to do. Ask to appeal it. If you had signed up as a member, I could have already saved you from this. Because I know how to fill out this form that you're trying to do to save your green card. I know how to fill it out. I know how to do this. I know how much it costs. But I can't put out my phone number here publicly or my email because that would be stupid. So for members, if you are a member of the channel, you have my phone number and my email, and then I can save you from losing your green card most of the time. Bud Garcia, how do I know if my wife can work? Does that come with the green card? When your wife receives her green card in her hand, that means that she can work and live permanently in the United States and also travel. You can use your green card to travel within the USA. You know, if you don't have a driver's license yet from the United States, you can travel from point A to point B in the United States with your green card. And you're not going to get molested by immigration or Homeland Security. So Alex Mo, you better get on top of that and get that paperwork filled out and get that check in the mail to immigration for $800 with a copy of your tax return, W-2 and tax transcript with a darn good explanation as to why you didn't have it for the original green card application. Francois, say hello to Karina. No problem. She decided to go for a walk around the block, but there's a big storm coming in, so I don't know where she's at right now. Chris and Emil, I'm sure Larry is at Texas Roadhouse eating some good steak. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go to Texas Roadhouse. Maybe I'll go tomorrow. But I'll see they're crazy prices too. It's easier for me to go to Walmart and buy the steak there and make it at the house and save a fortune. Larry Piercy, I do not have to go to Chris, but it is not that far. I'm in Pensacola, but I cannot come see you if you like. Also, Chris. Chris and Emil, you come down there. Always eat well, Chris, says Larry, and Chris is about 3 hours to New Orleans. So it's an easy drive to go from New Orleans to where Chris and Emil live. It's a 3-hour drive. It's a 3-hour drive. Spend the night at the Holiday Inn on the Superdome. Google the Superdome Holiday Inn. They have it's not expensive. They have a fantastic breakfast in the morning. So you can drive there the day before your biometrics or your green card interview in New Orleans. Go to New Orleans the day before. Explore New Orleans. Go down Bourbon Street. Park your car at the Holiday Inn Superdome garage. I think it's like $45 for the night. Something like that. Spend the day exploring New Orleans. Go to Jackson Square. Go to Bourbon Street. Go to the aquarium. Take a riverboat ride on the Mississippi. Go back to your hotel. Spend the night. Get up early. Have a good breakfast at the hotel, which is not expensive, and then go to your green card or your biometrics on on, I can't remember the name of the road, Lanier or Grenier Street. It's a 4-minute walk from the Holiday Inn Express, not the Holiday Inn Express, the Holiday Inn. It's a 4-minute walk from the Holiday Inn Superdome to the immigration office in New Orleans. Come on, guys, throw some green card K1 visa questions at me. Alex Mo, you got 33 days to get that appeal filed. Get on top of it. Get the things I told you to do. And if you want me to help you fill out the paperwork, sign up as a member, then you get my phone number and my email. I'm not putting my phone number out here publicly because this video goes around the world. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to protect the channel. Larry Piercy, are you doing the interview or the biometrics, Chris? I think he's going for the green card interview, Larry. Now, tomorrow, Larry, is the English class, right? For Mogi, your wife from Thailand. Doesn't she have English class tomorrow here? Right here. Yeah. She needs to be at the has she signed up already? Has she paid for the classes already? Did she sign up and pay for the classes? If she's signed up and paid for the class, then she needs to be at the building there by 5 p.m. Central Time, U.S. 5 p.m. She needs to be at the class. So you want to leave the house early to get her there before 5 o'clock. Okay? Then she can sit next to Karina because Karina has the same class, the same English class. Okay, guys, I've been talking for almost an hour. And God's Power Thomas has a question. Is it safe to travel outside of your state while waiting for the green card? Absolutely. You can travel anywhere in America you want to while waiting for your green card. You can travel on your passport. You have your K1 visa approved in the passport. You can use that as your travel document while waiting for your green card. Larry Piercy, no going to sign at 5. Chris Nemmel, green card interview in New Orleans. Chris Nemmel, go to New Orleans the day before. Take your wife to the aquarium. Take her on a little riverboat cruise for an hour. Take her down Bourbon Street. Get some souvenirs. Get some T-shirts. And then spend the night. Then go to your green card interview fresh and early in the morning, freshly showered, freshly ready to go in your business attire. After the green card interview, then you can then head back home to Mississippi. And with that said, I'm going to log off and I'll be back on Wednesday. Today's Monday, right? The 8th of September. I'll be back on Wednesday, the 10th of September, for another exciting live stream from here in the Lime and Water YouTube studio. We'll see you on Monday. Thanks for watching, guys, on Wednesday.